So, moving on from Kaiji, because we've now beat the 9 dead horses.
The what dead horses?
The 9-episode dead horse.
Oh.
It's... yeah.
So, guys, what did you guys do with your week?
We already said
We
this,
talked
Andrew.
about this. Is this just a segue into Dark Souls?
Yes.
Andrew just was like trying to get through Kaiji as fast as possible so we can talk about Dark Souls. This is the Dark Souls podcast.
Wait, what are you talking about, Connor? We've probably talked longer about Kaiji than we had on other stuff.
Maybe Dawson will bring up his rating by 1 point. Sorry.
What?
I'm making a reference to the Lane interview, or the Lane podcast.
In the Lane one?
Oh,
we've talked...
Where I talked about my interpretations of the show?
We talked less about Lane than we have about Kaiji. So, Connor, please, no.
I feel like what I had to say about Lane was...
We've
insightful.
literally
Yeah, I
talked about Kaiji
I'm just giving you shit because I'm still bitter about yesterday.
Yesterday?
That was a mutual... That was a
Sorry.
mutual decision to play that game for as long as we
You're
did.
bitter about playing Dark Souls for like who knows
That
how many
is not
hours in a
my
row.
fault. You could push that onto me, but that was not my fault.
That was more shameful than Friday night for me.
I mean, there's my weekend, which was wake up, extremely hungover,
work.
go to work, fall asleep, play Dark Souls, fall asleep, work. And now I'm here.
Hey, at least you're getting money for that.
I know, right? God knows I need it.
And like on the other spectrum, it was like, okay, we just play Dark Souls. I don't understand why you're pushing this off on me, because this is literally a shared decision.
You are a bad influence, Andrew.
You could have easily said...
And you have struck again
that cannot be argued against.
That cannot be argued against. But you could have easily stood up and said, okay, let's take a break for tonight, and then left.
Stop victim blaming. No, I'm sorry.
I'm not. You're victim blaming me for not doing... You're blaming me for something I didn't do.
Okay, I think we need to move on from this.
So, we're going to talk about Dark Souls 3, because that's the only thing we actually did with our week.
Yeah, sorry. We don't have any weeklies.
So,
No, we have 2 weeklies. I could talk about some
Andrew's
weeklies.
gonna talk about
I'll talk about 2
weeklies.
things.
Didn't we not watch JoJo?
I watched JoJo.
We didn't watch JoJo.
and
I'm
watched,
sorry, guys.
And I watched Conquer
I'm
Revolution.
not that sorry.
Oh, we'll watch JoJo soon.
Okay.
No, well, come on, Tom.
It's okay, I'm just being an asshole.
Because I think it was actually a good episode. So, sorry, I just remembered a funny thing with JoJo. Anyway, so Dark Souls 3, guys. Let's have a little discussion about some Dark Souls 3.
So, the way we did it is 4 of us are playing Dark Souls 3. And Andrew and Connor here have a character together.
And Dawson and
me
Connor
and Connor, who's not this Connor, have a character together. And Connor and I were doing a decent amount of stuff, plus we play the game slower. So we're not, like, super far in it.
Yeah.
But because of that, I currently have 3 characters, 2 of which are around at the same point.
And the fact that me and Connor live with each other, and I could just easily go, hey, Connor,
Just,
let's
like,
play
sit
Dark
down
Souls
and
3.
play.
And we had that
And then
day
also
yesterday.
you played for a whole day.
We're almost through the game. We have
We
to
have
beat
2 bosses.
one bonus boss and then the
We
final
have 2
boss.
bosses. We have
both of which we are standing at the door of.
Yeah. And I could easily say this is, like, by far my favorite out of all of them, because I actually enjoy playing this, and I actually enjoy...
I'm really enjoying it. I mean, I get salty sometimes, but
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it.
I'm
quite a
really
bit.
enjoying this because, like, Bloodborne was great, but one of my main issues is that just there was very little in what you could do with a variety.
Oh my god. I just realized this is going to start up an argument.
Yeah.
No.
I really like Bloodborne.
Yeah, but I really like Bloodborne too.
I think it's really good. Okay.
I really like Bloodborne too.
Currently, this is slightly biased because
I'll be
Dark
right
Souls
back.
3 is out recently, but currently my ranking of games goes Dark Souls 3, Bloodborne, Dark Souls 1.
Yeah. And
That was from best to worst.
because what I like is that comparative
Personally.
to Bloodborne is that this is more front loaded than back loaded in in terms of weapons, classes, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Where Bloodborne, where we talked about it, where if you wanted to try to do a magic build, you can't do that until the very end, or even onto New Game Plus.
Well, honestly, I feel like Magic's been perfected I feel like the reason I really like Dark Souls 3 so much right now is I feel like it takes the lessons learned from Bloodborne and from Dark Souls 1 and then pairs those games together and adds some new stuff and just makes something that's really refined.
A lot of people have agreed that this is literally you take every game in the series and have refined all the good points about it.
Which is fitting because this is the last Dark Souls game.
Rip.
Connor's just really sad after I told him that.
Okay,
Rip
yeah.
a great series.
So mine would go 3 and 1 are currently tied for me right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because one's not only the place where it all originated from. I feel like 1 still has that amazing connectedness to it
Yeah.
that you can't find in any of the other games.
I will say, as much as Dark Souls 1 is not my favorite of the series, I
That-
think
that
the map design is genius.
is out of this world.
Yeah,
You will
it's
never
great.
we will never get a map design as close to
Yeah.
Dark Souls 1.
Yeah, like that was.
Yeah.
And I agree with that, but then I think that when you get outside the very initial area of Dark Souls 3, it starts to branch out more and there's so much more to do.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed it, and what I feel like both those games have way over Bloodborne is I couldn't. There were so many parts in Bloodborne where I didn't like what the area looked like. I didn't really want to explore the area because I didn't feel like
really?
it was very.
The only
My kind of
area
thing.
in Bloodborne
is the
fucking forest.
Oh, I was going to say the asylum.
The asylum?
The 4-leveled asylum where
In the DLC?
in the DLC.
I
Did we-
walked in and
Oh,
I didn't
that? Oh,
I didn't
okay,
really want to
yeah.
do that.
The asylum in the DLC and
It's-
the forest.
yeah.
And the forest I did spend a lot of time exploring, and as much as I got so pissed
Wait,
off...
which part of the forest? The one with the snakes or the one with like the hick people?
Not Henwick.
I'm sorry, which one is?
No,
there's-
there's 2 parts of the forest. There's the first half and the second half.
Oh, the first half.
The first
and
half
second.
all of the villagers and the second half all the
The
snakes.
sec-
I
Second
enjoyed
half-
the first half a lot.
The first half was good. The second half of the forest, it just kind of branched out, and there was actually a lot to explore, but it was just such a frustrating area to go through, which I don't know, especially with the snake people and stuff like that. Like, thinking back, I don't think it was bad. Like, I think what they were trying to do with that, they did a good job
Yeah.
of.
I didn't like. Okay, in Dark Souls, when you look up, you actually kind of enjoy the view. Is kind of the way I saw it in a lot of like. Whereas in Bloodborne, it always felt really droll to me. Like, it was brown and black, and I don't know.
I liked a lot of the views in Bloodborne, like specifically Bergenworth I really enjoyed. Most of the area throughout the city I really enjoyed. But also that's because, I mean, it's a setting difference between
it's
the
a
two.
very-
Like,
it's
Dark
very
Souls,
different.
you can have deep forests and soaring castles. In
And
Bloodborne,
you're-
it's so much more
You're in a
like...
town.
Yeah, you're in a town and a slightly newer, more industrial sort of age.
Yeah,
I don't
there's
know.
shit everywhere.
There's shit everywhere, and I think it's...
No, I mean literally shit
there
everywhere.
literally is shit everywhere.
And what I
They
think
didn't have
I
sewage.
liked
It's
about
really gritty.
what I liked about Dark Souls 3 is where you walk out into that the balcony after the boar boss,
Yeah.
and you look out and you see all those locations,
Oh, they knew exactly what they were doing
And
with
they-
that. The camera like zooms out and everything.
and you go, okay, I'm gonna head over to all those areas, and then
Yeah.
later on, when you get to Honor Londo, you look back and you literally see the same view but from a different spot.
Yeah.
And you go, wait a second, I actually did travel to all these areas.
Yeah.
And that's what I think I like. Even though there's been some areas where I've been like the map design is very poor in there,
Yeah.
and specifically it's the areas that
which
look. Dark Souls 3.
Okay.
It's specifically the areas where they basically look like a Chalice dungeon.
Yeah.
Because they just decided to reuse those assets. So, for example, the Smoldering Lake and the Catacombs, in my opinion, are some of the lesser areas that I like. But overall, a lot of the areas that they had, I found were really interesting, were really cool, and just overall, I really like the map design.
The jails felt like a Chalice dungeon, but I really enjoyed those.
Which is the jails?
With the assholes who like lower your max health.
Yeah, but the thing is, once you get after the initial part, I feel that you walk out onto the balcony and then you see the profane capital and you go, okay, and then you go into another cell and there's the giant and you're like, it doesn't seem as procedural as like the Chalice dungeons felt.
Mm-hmm.
And that's from a very map design perspective of it, it's really good. The mechanics wise, I enjoy a lot more of the variety over everything. Where, like, I've been really specifically with all the armor that we've gotten. I just specifically like buying all the armor and then just putting
Andrew's
them
got
on.
a collector's
Andrew's doing
mentality.
Fashion Souls.
Yeah, comparative to Bloodborne, where there was a handful of really cool sets, cool looking sets.
I liked a majority of the armor in Bloodborne.
Yeah, actually, I did
thought
like.
it was
Actually,
really
you're right. I
interesting.
do like the armor in Bloodborne, but I like the actual armor look. Where a lot of the Bloodborne was a lot of like
Flowy and robey.
flowy
yeah.
robes and stuff like that because it's
A lot of it had like heavy religious.
because they didn't have it
influences
wasn't
and stuff.
armor. It was more of
Yeah.
everyday clothing.
I mean, this is a personal thing. Of
You like
course,
the everyday clothing,
but I much prefer everyday clothes. I
Yeah.
mean, I will say certain armor designs in Dark Souls are badass. Like I have a character that's just still using the standard knight armor just because it looks so
Really good.
clean.
The
They
Lost
look-
Knight armor is great too.
the Fallen Knight.
Fallen Knight armor is really cool.
Good.
The Dark Wraith armor looks pretty good.
Well, that's from Dark Souls 1.
Dark
This-
Wraith?
Dark Wraiths have been around since
Yeah,
Dark Souls 1.
like
Still have the
there's
same armor.
and I've picked up a lot of the
Is
newer
it the one
ones.
with the skeleton face?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I don't like the skeleton face, but I like the rest of the armor.
Yeah, and there's a lot of other stuff that's in there that I've really liked the armor look of it.
Also, talking about the bosses really quick, whereas Dark Souls 1 was a mix between kind of people and monsters, and Dark Souls 2 was way too many, like, people. Dark Souls 3 is way too many people-ish bosses.
Like larger people.
They're either
and stuff
humanoid, or there's a lot of people, or it's weird.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Like that. Yeah, it seems like
the
there's
bosses.
very few, from what I've seen of you guys playing at least, is there's very few like straight monsters.
Yes.
There is actually very like
Which kind of makes sense with the story, because in this one you're not going after gods, you're going after
people.
People.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ish.
you're going after
Sort
people
of.
Who've been
which,
corrupted and stuff.
Which now
I-
going from a very story standpoint, I'm really enjoying the lore and stuff in this game, and like with one, I actually really enjoy the lore too. I really enjoy the lore, and I
there was-
love.
I felt like
Okay.
Two of the Kings weren't as interesting to me.
I think Yorm got better with the addition.
Yeah.
With the addition that when we found out about
Yorm is
that.
optionally good.
Optionally good.
Okay.
I feel that Aldrich is actually really cool when you think of.
Was that the prince?
No, Aldrich is the slime,
Oh, the God Slayer.
the God Devourer.
That's
and
if you
think
play Dark Souls 1, that's
that's
interesting.
really cool, and I think that's really interesting with his design having Gwendolyn's armor because he killed
I
Gwendolyn.
really like the other two more though.
I think that's why I literally went to those two
Yeah.
because I knew that those are the two.
Yeah.
And I love the Abyss Watchers because I love what they are and what the mechanics of the boss and the lore behind them. And I
The
love
Abyss Watchers are pretty cool.
I love the princes as the princes.
The walking berserk reference.
The princes and the Abyss Watchers being two of my favorite bosses in the game are amazing.
And I mean, we kind of joke, but there was a part where it really did look like a berserk reference.
Oh, we
The second form
no,
of the princess.
don't mince words. That game is a walking berserk reference.
Okay,
with half the
okay, but I felt like as those characters actually did have an interesting
Yeah.
story and plot and stuff.
Yeah.
I think
That
that
great
Yorm.
sword.
I think that
That was Dark
Yorm.
Souls 2.
I think it. I
Yeah,
think
do they
that
look the same?
I think once Vati has enough time to pick apart the lore, and and tell me about Yorm's backstory, I think it'll be really interesting. Same with Aldrich, but like from a very base, I agree with you. But Abyss Watchers and
Yeah.
the princes have a really interesting story with the story of like how they just don't want to do
They don't.
Yeah.
They learned their lesson from Dark Souls 2, and they're not just putting in another half human, half bug hybrid. Did you know in Dark Souls 2 there's a half human, half scorpion hybrid?
Oh god.
Yeah, it's literally just like Coilog but a scorpion.
But I like the fact that a lot of the bosses are humanoid but aren't actually like
Humans.
another player character.
Yeah.
Like they're not just us.
It's not a
That's
dude
what
in
I did
armor.
like about the Abyss Watchers, actually, is up until that point at least, every time you're fighting a boss, they're always like way bigger than you, which
Yeah.
I like. It's like a Dark Souls
Yeah.
style.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed. But it was cool to get to the Abyss Watchers and have a guy
who's
the same size and everything.
yeah, and the thing is, I think that I like when we're thinking about humanoid bosses is that in the early game and with the optional bosses specifically, they're more monster-like bosses. But when
Yeah.
you're on the path to the main bosses, those are the actual like humanoid ones because it makes sense from a very story perspective.
Also, there's a hilariously late game non-boss you can find, which is great. It is.
I don't count that as a boss. It's a cinematic moment.
I didn't count that as a boss.
It's a cinematic moment.
Yeah. I don't know a lot about Dark Souls lore. Like, I know a lot about Bloodborne's lore, but I don't know a lot about Dark Souls'
Dark Souls
lore.
lore is really interesting. One is really interesting.
Yeah.
Two, from what I heard, is interesting, but not as
half-assed.
But half-assed, yes.
Well, no, I would say honestly,
No,
Dark Souls lore as a
Souls
whole is
2
interesting but half-assed.
Yes, actually, in all honestly, all the games. I haven't seen Demon Souls. I don't know the lore of Demon Souls, but I know the other four.
I heard there's a lot more talking in Demon Souls. Like,
In a
there's
way.
more people who actually say stuff.
Yeah, but speaking from the four that I've looked at or played, that the lore is very interesting, and I agree is occasionally half-assed. Specifically in Bloodborne, where I feel the lore was lacking comparative to the other ones, because you gain a lot more from having boss souls. Specifically.
Oh, in
reading the boss souls,
yeah,
because you get the souls and then you kind of get their story.
Yeah.
And from a very story perspective, I really like that.
Bloodborne's got other ways of going.
It does the
that.
armor, but there when you go to Dark Souls, it's literally you get the souls, you get the armor, you get the weapons.
Yeah.
In Bloodborne, there's fewer items to get a full explanation.
And fewer covenants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For specifically with the princes, if you look at the armor set, if you look at their weapons, if you look at their soul, it paints a full picture that even though it's only 3 or 4 lines.
Well, and they actually do, like, they're one of the only bosses I actually cared about. Because they talked to you.
Yeah.
They said, "Yo, like, no."
Yorm, I kind of cared about
because of the
optional thing.
Yeah, but they look at you and go, "Yo, we're not coming back. Like, just leave us. Don't be an asshole." And it wasn't even like leave us. It's like, oh, it's another one. And we understand that you're just doing your job and shit, but we're not coming back, so we're gonna fight you.
Yeah.
And there is a little bit of, like, care for each other. And
we want to see the darkness because we don't want to take part in this fire.
Yeah.
Like, we're tired.
And they
actually leave us alone.
And there was a little bit of sadness in it. I don't know. I felt like that fight was probably one of the best.
The Abyss Watchers is nuts because if you... I need to read those descriptions over, but from what I could get from
it was a Fight Club is what I saw.
No, it's they all went to the Abyss because they're followers of... Artorias. They're because of the wolf. Or like they're because they're all Abyss. No, the wolf. Yeah, I was thinking the wolf was Seath, but the wolf was actually there. But in my head is that they went to the Abyss and all went nuts, and now they just sit there all day, every day, just killing each other.
Sif, not Seath.
Yeah.
Seath is the dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mainly, what I wanted to say is somebody who doesn't know a lot about the Dark
sorry
Souls
about
lore. For 3, I really liked the idea of being embered, as much as I don't have as much context on what that means.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, like, the first time...
Oh, I still know what it means.
The first time, like, what I've taken it as, at least, is that, like, it sounded to me like... correct me if I'm wrong here, but it sounded like you're, like, the ember from a fire that has, like, grown into human form, and you're, like, literally a humanoid sort of ember
you are called the...
walking through the world, called towards...
You are called the Unkindled.
So,
and by embering up, you are more... You're the kindled one.
Different than Dark Souls, you're not undead in this game.
Unless you are
weird.
Undead.
That's weird.
Which is strange, that you can be that in...
The hollowing is
the difference is that the undead... They're humans that just gain the ability to not die.
Wait, no, I think we do have a dark sign. So we are undead.
No, we gave up the dark sign.
Didn't we start out with a dark sign?
No, we don't. You get the dark sign from... you don't start the dark sign.
Don't?
Oh, you do have a dark sign. Yes, you
start with the dark sign.
But here's the thing about...
So I'd say we are still technically...
The way that it works is that there's a main difference here. Hollows and the hollowing process happens because a human turned into a undead, and then they started to hollow out. I can't remember if it's a choice or a decision or it's just brought up onto them. How it works, but they become a hollow and an undead.
Yeah.
They were humans that became undead, basically.
Yeah.
That they were living and they continue to live just forever. Mm-hmm. The unkindled are warriors, champions, things that have died. Yeah. They have gone to rest. They are fully dead. But then because of what is happening, they have come back from the dead and are now undead. So the main difference is that one was you were living and then now I'm now undead, and the other one is you were dead and you were awakened, you were resurrected, and you were told do your job.
So the fire's kind of running you right now.
Yeah, you are running from the fire. You are being run by the fire, and that's why.
Seems like it's just kind of calling you.
Yeah, and that's why they call you the kindled one. Is that you are this small flame that will spark the flame again.
Which I just thought it was really cool the first time I beat the first boss, and suddenly you have like more health, and your body's just like glowing, and I'm like, oh, I'm so much more hyped for this. Like in Dark Souls, I went from being ugly as fuck to being normal, and I'm like, okay, I wasn't super excited by that. Like it's cool that,
but the fact that you're now like,
and it definitely fits.
Instead of making you look worse, it makes you look better.
Exactly, it was like such a hype moment to see the red flames coming off. I was just like, oh yeah.
And not only that, but continuing from my point is, what are the main bosses called? They are the Lords of Cinder.
Yeah.
Cinder.
And they all have fire type attacks.
Yeah.
At one point.
Wait, what is Cinder exactly? If you're helping me with this.
A cinder. Well, cinder's like a little piece of flame or like ash or something like that that blows out of a fire.
Oh man,
that like those are the like when you got a blacksmith hammering at
that
something.
Makes so much more sense.
The sparks that fly off, I think, are cinders. I could be wrong.
That makes so much more sense if they're the Lords of Cinder.
It's either that or it's the what's left of a fire that's not the embers.
Because that's what I'm thinking.
Not sure
because
which one it
the
is.
Lords of Cinder are people who have lit the flame, and that they've died, and they are now come back to relit it again, to use the power to relit it again.
Yeah.
So because of that, because they're the Lords of Cinder, the fact that they're just the fire that like the
a cinder is just when coal is done burning, the little things that are left glowing at the end.
Yeah, because that's what they are. They are cinder. They are those, and you're the kindled. You're the kindled one to be able to light that fire again. Yeah. They are your cinder. You're the fire.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool.
On a cool metaphorical base, that is so much cooler than.
Well, I really thought Dark Souls had like an interesting way of doing it in comparison. And this one, you have your own quest, and they're like, "Yo, this is your quest. Go do it. Yeah. You know, you're the boss. Go do your job." And then we're gonna like. It's weird. They're like, "Oh, you're the true ruler. You're God. It's your choice to do all this stuff." Mm-hmm. Whereas Dark Souls 1, they're like, "Yo, go do this stuff and sacrifice yourself." Yeah. Like they don't even tell you what you're doing ever. Yeah. They never say, "Oh, you're gonna be burning in the fire at the end," but they want you to do it.
Yeah, Dark Souls 3, you come in with the knowledge that you're gonna turn into fire.
Yeah, Dark Souls 3, you're like, yeah, you need to get these gods, and then like
light the fire.
You have the ultimate. You have the ultimate choice. Whereas Dark Souls 1, you could totally accidentally light the fire. Yeah. Right, and not even know what the hell happened. Where like, and everyone's just like, oh yeah, you're the Legend of Time, like you're Link, and you're going to save everyone and beat these bosses and save the world, and they're like. They put up this big show, this big farce for you, so you think you're important.
You mean Dark Souls 1? Yeah, yeah, you're right. Whereas, and here is that you are on a public pilgrimage.
You're kind of an asshole in this one.
You're a debt collector.
Yeah, you're coming back like either like what's it called voluntarily, or I'm dragging your body parts onto this.
You are a debt collector. You are a bounty hunter. That's what you are. You're not a hero. You are basically. I'm here to do a job, and I'm gonna do my job.
Yeah, one of those bosses aren't an asshole.
I feel like at least a couple of them are actually not assholes. I think Abyss Watchers are just very unfortunate.
I don't think the dancer was an asshole. Like, and it's not just you who's the asshole, it's the world who's with you. Yeah. Saying, let's kill these certain few people.
Except for Yorm.
Or destroy their grave.
Except for Yorm.
Okay. Whatever.
Yorm that was his choice.
Who was Yorm?
Yorm is the giant. That was his...
Oh, because he told someone else to do it for him?
That was his wish.
Okay. But, like, there's 2 or 3 people where it's like, we don't want to come back, and, like, we just don't want to be sacrificed. This is our home, and we want to stay here.
Yeah, we want to live.
Yeah. And then you drag them back kicking and screaming, or, like, I'm pretty sure when you go into the Abyss Watchers, they don't even know why you're there. They're just like, oh, you want to fight? Cool, let's fight.
Yeah.
We like fighting. Let's fucking
and then
do
you take all their heads, and you put it on their throne.
Mm-hmm.
That's really sad.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Overall, I really like and enjoy this game. Obviously, gonna hit top 5 of the year for me. It's probably for me. I enjoy this from, like, maybe it's because I'm actually like.
I feel like they needed more originality in certain parts, though.
A
lot was ripped from the first 2 games.
I agree with that, but I like the fact that if you're gonna do a finale like this, if this is the third and this is your planned finale, like if there was gonna be Dark Souls 4, 5, 6, 7. Fuck off. Like, stop calling back the first game. Stop doing that. But the fact that if they're using this game as this bridge that will finalize the trilogy that is Dark Souls 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're doing the callbacks, the fact that they're doing that is fantastic. Because it's like you're watching a series and you want to see it at the end. You want to see all the things connect to each other. You want to see all those cool characters come back or like do something really cool. And if this is your finale, that's what you want to see. And the callbacks actually make sense in this way.
Yeah.
Like walk up to Anne Orlando. Yes. Cuz this is like
This is where the god.
yeah,
killer-
if you did that in Dark Souls 2, fuck off. Do that in Dark Souls 3? Yeah. And again, that's
the original Ornstein.
Oh, oh.
But it's not really Ornstein. It's the mysterious Dragon Slayer.
Did we ever tell you about that, Dawson?
No.
So you know-
I'm gonna get to.
No.
Okay.
It's in Dark Souls 2.
Dark Souls
Oh.
1 and 2. Dark Souls 1 and
The
2.
optional hard. You can go the easy route or the hard route to start.
Yeah.
If you go the hard route, you fight Ornstein pretty early.
Remember
Really?
Ornstein and Smo from
Yeah,
Dark
yeah.
Souls 1? So what they did to
It's
explain
called
that...
like Shadowy Dragon Slayer
yeah.
or something
So
like
what
that.
they do to
It's just him,
explain
but
that
purple.
is that the one you fight in 2 is actually the real Ornstein, and the one you fought in 1 was just an illusion of Ornstein.
What?
I don't. Are you sure that's exactly?
That's the explanation that they use.
Kind of silly.
That's exactly why Dark Souls 2 sucks, because it makes some of the other ones worse off.
Yeah.
But yes, that is Dark Souls 3. Overall,
Yeah. I'll finish it at some point.
I think it's a fantastic game.
I'm really enjoying it.
I'm really enjoying it. I'm waiting to finish this so that I could have more time to do my work now.
Yeah. I want more time so I can finish this. Because I have a habit of not finishing games, and I don't want this to be one of those games that I don't finish.
Well, you have a copy on your PS4, so.
Yeah, I do.
So.
At some point, I'll have to get my own copy
Yeah.
so that I don't have to keep playing on your profile.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Right.
It's fine though.
'Cause that kind of limits us.
I'll get it on Steam
I'll do
sale
it
for
eventually.
$20 later.
So moving on. So yeah, but we got 2 copies for $60. So
Hey.
that's buy one get one free right there.
I know, right?